Tonight, you are more than likely familiar with Tabasco brand pepper sauce, but what you might not be familiar with is its history. The company actually got its incorporation right here in Maine back in 1907.
The former CEO of Tabasco's parent company, Anthony Simmons, was the keynote speaker at the Maine Business Awards this year and was surprised with a copy of the incorporation papers at the event. We sat down with him to hear more about Tabasco's ties to Maine and how his family's company has continued to grow for more than a century.
I knew that we were incorporated in the state of Maine, so I thought it was a very nice, fitting thing to get that. We have a full-time archivist and historian who works for us, Dr. Shane Bernard, and the copy will go to our archives to be displayed as part of our heritage.
Very cool. Did you ever come to Maine as a kid or growing up? Do you have any memories here?
No, I have a lot of relatives here. We have a lot of connection to Maine. One of my cousins married a fellow named Rob Gardner from Gardner, Maine. And some of my other cousins also live here in Maine, so we have a lot of connection to Maine, but me personally, no.
Yeah, so we mentioned that you're part of the 5th generation of family leadership with the company. What is that like, working with your family?
Well, family business is people talk about all the time. It's very difficult to keep a family business together. Only about 12% of family businesses make it to the 3rd generation, and somewhere between 2 and 4% of family businesses make it to the 4th. So 5th, 6th generation family businesses have found a way to keep the family happy and keep the business thriving and hit a balance that allows you to hold on to your family business. But it's tricky.
It's unique too. Do you think the company would have had the same success if it had used a different model?
I don't know. I think one of the big reasons that we are successful and still a family business is where we are. Every bottle of Tabasco in the world is made at Avery Island, Louisiana, and has been since 1868. And my family is very connected to Avery Island. It's kind of like the rock that holds our family together. So I think that where we are and the fact that our family identifies so strongly with Avery Island is part of us being able to hold our family business together.
I'm also told that you guys have a pretty interesting way of hiring people through a selection committee. What is that? What's that all about?
So we've been in the same place for 155 years, and we're not just a family business. When we talk about being a family business, we have generations of families who have worked with us. So in order to try to make sure that our employees feel they have an opportunity for jobs, especially at the manufacturing level, not necessarily say marketing or sales, but at the manufacturing level, when we have an opening for say a line leader to run one of our bottling lines, first, we post it internally in the company so that if we have employees in the company who feel like they're the person that can fill that position, they are allowed to post for the job before we go outside for it. When we post for the job, we put together a committee of 5 people. One is the manager, one is the HR person, but then we have 3 people who will have to work for that person on that line. They interview any of the internal candidates that apply for the job. The 3 people who would have to work for them vote first. If they vote for one of those candidates, they get the job. The manager and the HR person don't have any say-so because the 3 have the majority and that job goes to that person. It makes our employees comfortable that one, there's an opportunity to advance in the company if they stay with us. And secondly, that advancement is going to be based on merit, not on preference by a manager. So and what happens is it waterfalls because usually that person is 1 or 2 steps down from the position they're going to take. So now it drops to the next level and the next level, so that almost all of our hires are actually at the lowest level from the outside because people inside are allowed to advance first.
Right. That's great. I feel like that makes for a great work environment.
It makes for a good work environment and it makes for good morale.
Absolutely. All right, last and probably the most important question that I have for you. What goes better with lobster? Butter or Tabasco sauce?
Yes. You take the Tabasco sauce and you put it in the butter and you muddle it, and then you put your lobster in the Tabasco sauce butter, and it's much better.
Okay, so best of both worlds. I like it. I also asked Simmons what kind of advice he would turn to while running a huge company if times were hard. He referred to part of Teddy Roosevelt's speech, "The Man in the Arena." And then after our chat, Rob, he told me that Roosevelt and his great-great-uncle were actually really great friends. His uncle actually left the family business, resigned as president to become a Rough Rider with Roosevelt. So lots of fun stories in that family.
I actually have been to the Tabasco operation in Avery Island, and it's really interesting. I thoroughly enjoyed it. They've got, a big guest center and so forth. They do it upright. It's fun.
It's cool.
Coming up.